Yeah. Coming up on the October 7th edition of Sports Extra. 33 was a special number in field hockey this weekend in more ways than one.
The Tigers were declawed this weekend when they faced the number 3 Heels.
And UNC left the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets wishing they still had that wishbone offense.
All that and so much more.
Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
What's up, everyone? We got field hockey, some field hockey, and even more field hockey for you today. I'm Brian Gallagher.
And I'm Devontae Anthony. Brian, I don't know if you were at the field hockey game, but I heard the atmosphere was absolutely hype.
I was not, but I heard the fans were given a great show.
Yeah.
It was a battle of the Blues Friday night at Karen Shelton Stadium with the biggest rivalry in all of sports. And this time it was between the nation's top 2 teams. Just like Karen Shelton asked for, the atmosphere was booming and helped energize the Tar Heels early. In the second quarter, sophomore Hannah Griggs passes selflessly to senior Marissa Creator on a fast break counterattack from the left side of the goal. The next goal was 57 seconds into the fourth quarter on a penalty corner from freshman Madison Orbono on the stop with an assist from sophomore Abby Pritchkron and the goal by Aaron Matson. The Heels up 2-0. The Tar Heels were able to secure the 3rd shutout in a row and remain undefeated. With what felt like a national championship game against a local rival, the Tar Heels continue to dominate the ACC.
There's no question the crowd helps us, the band, the fever, it all is, gives us some momentum and some energy. But I think that it was, that's as good as it gets. That's why you train so hard, is to have these kinds of matchups.
This team is good enough to start breaking out comparisons to 2018. About this time last year, the Heels were putting up the exact same numbers. In 2018, the Heels were on a 10-game winning streak, averaging 4.5 goals per game, only allowing 0.7. 10 games in this year, the team is averaging 4.8 goals and only allowing 0.8. The only question that remains if the Heels can keep this going. 2 undefeated seasons ain't easy. Looking ahead next Saturday, the team will travel to take on number 6 Syracuse, which has a 7-2 record. Then another away game. Number 19 Wake Forest has a record of 4-5, but serves as a vital conference matchup. An always dangerous Old Dominion holds a winning record of 5-3 and has a strong defense. UNC will close out the regular season against St. Joseph, which has an 8-1 record and 3.9 scoring average. And now we have Adam Jordan out at Karen Shelton Stadium to give us a little more about the game on Friday. Adam, take it away.
Thanks, guys, and I can report I was here in the stands on Friday, and it was indeed rocking. The field hockey team has been absolutely dominant, and it seems like every game, whether it's Aaron Matson, Catherine Hayden, or Yentl Lehmans, we always have something positive to report, and this week was no exception. It was number 33, Marissa Creator, showing up and showing out in the Tar Heels' 33rd straight victory. Creator brought the energy from the team's opening huddle and was all over the field Friday afternoon. After the Tar Heels couldn't find the back of the net early, the ball found the stick of sophomore forward Hannah Griggs on the break, who slid it to Creator, who did the rest. Sophomore forward Aaron Matson scored the 2nd goal of the match, and UNC stayed aggressive, trying to pad the lead. They thought it came here when Creator had another opportunity late in the contest on this penalty corner. Senior midfielder Yentl Lehmans finds Matson, who hits Creator on the money, puts it into the back of the net, but the goal is later overturned. Number 33 was key in the Tar Heels' 33rd straight victory. And this wasn't the only game that Creator has been successful in during her career. She has 27 goals, including 8 in her past 10 games. And of course, back in high school, she led her team to 4 state championships, and of course was a key player in the 2018 National Championship. Sports Extra's Jocelyn Quinn has more on how the local girl has turned herself into a star.
Marissa Creator has become a field hockey star at UNC. Susan Taylor coached her before she became a Tar Heel.
I've known Marissa since she was a freshman in high school. She played varsity all 4 years, and she's just a great girl. She is the epitome of the Eastfield hockey culture. She played varsity, like I said, since freshman year, and we couldn't have won any of those state championships without her. And she's the most passionate player I think I've ever coached.
Susan Taylor played a huge part just because field hockey itself played a huge part in my high school career, whether it be my friend group and shaping that or shaping my leadership. I really grew as a person throughout high school, and she was a huge part of that.
Creator is one of 2 girls on the UNC field hockey team from North Carolina, and the only one from Chapel Hill.
I think once the sport got more popular, it got really, really hard to come from North Carolina. UNC and other colleges don't usually look here to recruit, and Marissa worked really, really hard to get there and play all 4 years.
I mean, it's more than 4 years for me. It dates all the way back to 2nd grade when I first moved here. And I always talk about the moment I became a Tar Heel was when I walked into my 2nd grade class when UNC was playing Duke for the first time in basketball, and I was wearing a yellow shirt, and everyone in my room was either UNC or Duke, and right then I had to make the decision, which one did I want to be, and of course I chose the better blue.
And the Carolina field hockey program is better because of that decision. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jocelyn Quinn reporting.
And if that national championship weren't enough to convince you just how valuable Marissa, or Reese, as her UNC teammates call her, is to this team, then her spirit, personality, and love for the game would still be enough. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Adam. So, Devontae, what do you think the chances are for the Heels to repeat?
I think with players like Erin Matson and Marissa Creator, a national championship is destined for the 2019 team. And with a legendary coach like Karen Shelton, I mean, they have to get a national championship. And sticking with the theme of legendary coaches, Coach Mack Brown is turning around the football team. Looking to break their 3-game losing streak, the Heels met Georgia Tech on the road for an ACC matchup on Saturday. After a slow start, the Heels were able to punch in 2 quick touchdowns in the second quarter, including this 6-yard pass from Sam Howell to Bo Corrales. After a scoreless half from the Yellow Jackets, both teams were on the offensive during the second half. But with an all-around effort from UNC, 5 Heels found the end zone. Sam Howell opened up the fourth quarter with an 18-yard touchdown pass to De'Ami Brown to stretch the Heels' lead to 17. With less than 4 minutes left, Javonte Williams ran it for 3 yards out to seal the deal. The Heels win 38-22 on the road.
I thought they played hard tonight. They played with passion tonight and did a lot of good things. Like I said, the other thing is we've won here once since I left.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're starting to build our identity as an offense. There's still a lot of stuff we can clean up. We could have a lot more points, so we just got to clean some stuff up.
You all should be expecting her by now. Our football analyst, Caroline Boyer, has more to talk about with this win and how the Heels can keep winning. Sweet Caroline.
Thanks, Devontae. This was an important win for the Heels. They needed this dub to continue their momentum after a close game with Clemson. A big key to this win was Sam Howell's stellar performance, arguably his best of the season. Howell had UNC's offense in a groove, dominating time of possession and consistently moving the chains on third down. Howell set a career high in yardage and became the first Carolina QB to throw for at least 350 yards and have 4 touchdown passes since Mitch Trubisky in 2016. North Carolina is now 10 of 12 on 4th down conversions this season. In the words of Mack Brown, Howell plays like he doesn't care what down it is. The Heels are 11 for 19 on 3rd down conversions. The Heels head into the bye week of the season before going on the road to Virginia Tech on October 19th. Despite the win, there's plenty to clean up with the time off. The offense made a lot of mistakes against the Yellow Jackets, including 6 drop passes and 6 penalties for 60 yards. Daz Newsome, Toe Groves, and De'Ami Brown dropped long passes near the goal line in the first half that could have led to scores. 2 of those were drops in the end zone, meaning 14 points lost for UNC. The Heels will need to correct these mistakes looking ahead to Virginia Tech, which is 3-2 for the season right now. After the game, Mack said he's giving the guys Monday and Tuesday off to catch up on sleep and homework, and then it's back to work. Back to you guys.
There are 6 more games left in the season for the Tar Heels, with 4 key matchups that might be the difference between the Heels getting to the bowl or not. First up, Carolina will take on Virginia Tech, which is 3-2. Then Virginia, which is now 4-1. Following that, the Heels will have Pittsburgh, which stands at 4-2, and just throttle Duke before the Heels take on in-state rival NC State, which are sitting steady at a 3-2 record. Chaz Surratt moving to linebacker has been one of the best stories in college football, but there's a chance the Heels will use his surreal athleticism on the offensive side once again. Would opponents expect a triple option play at the goal line with Chaz Surratt? With the injury to backup quarterback Jace Ruder, Mack Brown recently brought up the possibility of using Surratt as an option threat. Using athletic players at quarterback for certain situations is becoming common in the NFL. It is a skill Surratt and the Heels could turn to in the weeks to come. Brian, now what do you think about the chances of the football team getting to the bowl?
Well, the Heels are 3-3 right now, so it's a little shaky. A lot better than last year.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
They've had some good looks at games. A 1-point loss to Clemson, I believe it was a 3-point loss to App State. So I think their chances are very good.
Very good. Yeah.
Field hockey and football weren't the only teams that crushed their opponents this weekend. The women's soccer team crushed the Clemson Tigers and continue for their quest for a national championship.
Phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors. What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor.
The third-ranked women's soccer team took on the 8th-ranked Clemson Tigers on Saturday in what turned out to be, in all honesty, an ugly win. Just about zero action happened in the first half, except for the play of Mars Josephine with that nice save. For the rest of the way, it was missed opportunities for the Heels, who missed several easy shots on goal. Credit to Clemson defense, however, as it appears their defenders' favorite style of play is to use their faces to block shots. Coach Jorns was so unhappy with the starters' performance that reserve saw a lot of action and ended up starting the second half. And then finally, we see Bridget Andrzejewski punch one off a beautiful pass from Lotta Woodman-Moy, and the Heels win 1-0.
And the challenge is to see if they can play consistently. Well, right now they're not playing consistently. That was the worst half the starters have played this season. And all I can say is thank goodness the reserve showed up. So obviously we've got to put ourselves in a position where everyone comes in with a mentality to have a great game.
The women's soccer team looked to make it back to the NCAA finals, but will first have to overcome several teams in the ACC. This week the Heels will take on Duke on Tuesday and then Pittsburgh on Sunday. Next week the Heels will compete against Boston College and Florida State. The team is currently 11-1 this season and 4-0 in the ACC.
After a shutout game against UNC Wilmington, the men's soccer team traveled to Pennsylvania to play Pittsburgh. Senior Jack Skahan scored the first goal off a free kick with 1 second left in the first half. In the second half, junior Santiago Era saw the ball from the right side of the field and sprinted into the box to score the final goal with a header, giving the Heels a 2-1 dub. The Tar Heels are back at home Tuesday and will take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Following in the footsteps of a legend can be hard when pressure and expectations lie at every turn. Edward Trent shows us a soccer player looking to make a name for himself in the program his parents helped him build.
2 months into his freshman year, Sebastian Berhalter has made an instant impact. Berhalter is one of only 2 freshmen to appear in 8 games this season. After coming to UNC from the Columbus Crew Academy, the learning curve has been steep.
Anytime you move teams, there's always going to be a little different, little tweaks here and there. But I would say Columbus, I think just the academy in general, the game's a lot slower and a lot less physical. So I think coming here is a good transition for me to help me develop physically.
With quick feet and the ability to play the ball from anywhere on the field, Sebastian Berhalter has all the makings of a player who can carry the team at Chapel Hill for years to come. But if the last name of Berhalter sounds familiar to you, then you might want to look at the badge of another team to see where all the magic comes from.
Sebastian is the son of Greg Berhalter, the current coach of the U.S. men's national team and 2-time All-American at UNC. Rosalind Berhalter, Sebastian's mom, also played soccer at Carolina and was a 4-time national champion. Rather than view his parents' success as a curse, Sebastian uses it only as a blessing.
Like, you're always representing him, you're always representing my family, like the Berhalter name, like, I mean, that's not a big name, but just always, you need to always be on your best behavior most of the time. And I mean, he can give me the best advice. Like, a lot of kids don't have like even a soccer background.
Sebastian is a key part of the #1 recruiting class in the country. All-day pressure is nothing new to him.
We've all came in with a desire to want to play and a heart, which is really good. And I think it's going to really help the team excel, especially for this year and in the upcoming years. I think we're all guys who want to be on the field and want to make an impact.
With Sebastian stepping out of his parents' shadow, people might one day be telling their children about the legend of a different Berhalter. In Chapel Hill, I'm Edward Trench, reporting.
Fans can watch Berhalter play when the Hills host West Virginia on Tuesday at 7.
Carmichael Arena hosted a block party on Sunday when UNC volleyball took on Virginia Tech. Coming off a big win at NC State, UNC kept the good times rolling with a dominant first set win. Redshirt freshman Lauren Harrison put in a huge performance, racking up 22 kills. With UNC struggling to stop a big Virginia Tech run in the third set, Catherine Esterly came off the bench to help turn things around for the Heels. Carolina's high-powered offense proved too much for the Hokies as UNC set a season high with 69 kills. The Heels win 3-1.
I think it goes to show how much the setters and I have connected and grown, because at first I wasn't getting that many kills. So to see the connection between the setters and I definitely is a good thing. And also, like, the back row can help me call shots, so some of the kills are theirs too.
The volleyball team has won 4 of its past 6. The now 5-9 Heels are looking to extend their home winning streak on Friday when they take on the Miami Hurricanes.
North Carolina's rookie Anika Yarlagada had a great showing this week at the Women's Collegiate Invitation at Pepperdine University. She defeated Duke's Hannah Zayo in a 3-set battle and Arizona State's T. Kolarova in straight sets. She fell to Pepperdine's Lisa Czar in singles final on Sunday. October means it's time for the World Series, and it is time for softball. Against Campbell on Friday, UNC senior Brittany West got on base in the first inning, which was a sign of things to come. UNC junior Megan Dre hit a double in the second inning for the Heels, and Shayla Thompson brought her around to score with a double to center field. The team had plenty of hits, including Dominique Montillon with this single in the 6th. The Heels ended up finding home plate 6 times to seal the deal, 6-1. In Game 2, the Magic started for the Heels in the bottom of the 3rd inning when Christiana Burkhart came up with this RBI double to put the first run up on the board. Then senior Brittany Pickett smashes this 2-run homer right over the right field wall to put the Heels up 3-0. Carolina's offense continued to dominate the rest of the game, leading the Heels an 11-1 Heels drubbing. Unfortunately for the Heels, the team couldn't secure a dub against NC State on Sunday to close out the series. The Heels will play ECU next weekend.
Softball isn't the only sport we plan to talk about that isn't in season, because this wrestler has honed his craft in just more ways than the ring. Stay tuned.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving.
Sophomore wrestler and boxer Jeremiah Derby not only knows how to fight like his favorite superheroes, he's able to draw them too, and he hopes that one day it can change the world.
Jeremiah Derby is a 2-time wrestling champion and joined the UNC wrestling team last fall, but he wants the world to know him as more than just a fighter. He's also an artist, studying studio art at UNC.
Without wrestling, I wouldn't be Jeremiah Derby. Without art, I wouldn't be Jeremiah Derby. Without boxing, I wouldn't be who I am. All of Jeremiah's passions come from his father, known as David Do or Die Derby.
who not only introduced him to wrestling at a young age, but also to the world of comic books. From him, Jeremiah found his love for Batman.
He's a guy that he's just a human, and he worked extremely hard to get where he's at. I think I just kind of related that to myself at a young age, and that's what inspired me.
He was the only superhero without a superpower. So just pushing on him, look, you can do this. You can be this. You can do that.
And that's what Jeremiah has done. Jeremiah is noted for both his physical and creative skill sets among the wrestling team staff.
He puts in a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and he's always willing to learn and put in extra time. Batman is his favorite thing in the world. He's did a 80th anniversary poster with all 80 of the Batmans on it. His onion is Batman JD, so almost anything he does, Batman's involved.
This is the Batman 80th anniversary tribute.
Jeremiah thinks its future will include art and fighting, both helping him achieve his goal of affecting the world.
After I graduate college, I plan to go pro, either MMA or pro boxing, whatever, I feel that God's leading me to do. And ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to create a platform that allowed me to share my faith and to share my passion.
Jeremiah shares both of his passions on his YouTube channel, where he has dubbed himself Jeremiah the Honey Badger Derby, fighter, faith, artist, and family. In Chapel Hill, I'm Grace Wilson reporting.
So Devontae, who is your favorite superhero? Speaking of superheroes.
With that drawing of Batman, I'm going to go with Batman.
I'm going to go with Spider-Man. He's a little more relatable, He's a student, got to take classes, but I don't save the world, he does.
So you have Spider-Man and I have Batman. So let's bat our way out of this edition of Sports Extra.
See you next week.